What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to Pause Reset Play. It has been quite a break for me. This is my first video in quite some time, so thanks for sticking with me. Just got back into Destiny about a week ago. So trying to get my book rank up here. I'm working towards getting to rank 7. I want to get that new T-shirt, and just like everybody else here, Destiny 1 is winding down. Very much look forward to Destiny 2. So I wanted to make a quick video right now. More or less, this is kind of me thinking out loud and thinking about Destiny 2 with regards to PvP. One of the big issues, I think, for Destiny 1 has been weapon balancing. And I know a lot of people are thinking about Destiny 2 and how can they fix some of the balancing issues that we've seen throughout Destiny 1. There's been many different instances where certain gun types were very, very powerful, and then changes were made and different guns became the go-to weapons in Crucible. So how can we fix that? And I know, I read the forums a lot, and in chatting with other players here who play Destiny 1, who play a lot of PvP. A lot of people talk about separating PvE from PvP. And, on the surface, I think, while that may sound like a good idea, me personally, I don't know how much of a change that would have on PvP. Just kind of thinking out loud here. Right now, obviously, all these guns that I have, here, all these guns are useful or can be useful in both PvP and PvE. Like, there's no distinction. There's no guns that are only for Crucible. There's no guns that are only for PvE. So I guess the idea is if you had a set of weapons that were only for Crucible, and then you had a set of weapons that were only for PvE, I think you could probably even extend that to armor. If you had certain armor that was only for PvE, likewise for Crucible, that somehow that would result in there being weapon balancing. But to be honest, I really don't know how truthful or how accurate that would be. Even if you had guns that were just for Crucible, I think, at least in my opinion, I think you'd eventually would see balancing issues popping up, from that subset of weapons. So I don't know if that blanket statement of, hey, separate PvP from PvE, if that would magically fix the balancing issues. In a game like Destiny and in a game like Destiny 2, I think the inherent complex nature of all the weapons that you can get, having exotic weapons and legendary weapons and weapons that have a unique set of perks and many different types of combinations, I think when you have that type of weapon complexity, I think you're naturally going to have balancing issues that pop up. And only through a lot of data, a lot of games being played, seeing which weapons are getting the most kills, seeing which supers are getting the most kills and which exotic pieces are being used the most from an armor perspective, or weapons that are being used the most. I think only through a lot of data being gathered can you determine, hey, perhaps this weapon, either its set of perks it has are too powerful, or the rate of fire, the damage that it does. Only through that type of in-depth analysis can you begin to make determinations on, hey, this weapon might be overpowered, or this type of weapon might be overpowered. And that's what we saw throughout Destiny 1. There was time periods where, weapons like Thorn were absolutely insane to use in Crucible. For a good stretch of time, this gun, I think it goes back in year 1 mainly, this gun was a 2-headshot kill because of the damaging effect and because of the high impact. Not only that, too, with the perks here, you could have the range. Basically, this would be like a scout rifle almost, as far as not having any damage drop off from a very far range. So a weapon like this was the go-to weapon in Crucible for quite some time. Even guns like the Vex, when that first came out in hard mode, the damage that it was doing were leaps and bounds ahead of any other weapon you could choose. Now, in both cases, with Thorn to a lesser degree, but in both cases, the Vex was difficult to obtain early on. I know for myself, I didn't play hard mode as soon as it came out. I did start playing quite a bit, though, once I hit level 29 and 30 back then. But even still, it took me 20 or 30 hard mode clears before I got the Vex. Now, of course, there's other people who got more lucky and they got it right away. But there was still a barrier to entry, so to speak, to getting that high-powered weapon. Likewise, with Thorn, obviously it had the exotic bounty for that, or the exotic quest line to get it. But that particular quest wasn't exactly easy. So I think people who got this weapon, they earned getting that weapon. So naturally, it's an exotic. It was hard to get. It's going to be very, very powerful in PvP. Perhaps a bit too powerful, and that's why Bungie made that change, nerfed this gun, and gave some other guns some spotlight. So I really don't see how you avoid that moving forward. I just think unless they want with the Halo approach of having one pistol, having a battle rifle, and having a very, very limited set of weapons with no perks or anything like that associated with them, unless they want that direction, I don't see how you can have balancing or have consistent balancing in a game like Destiny. And quite frankly, for myself, I wouldn't want them to make PvP very bare bones like that, with no unique weapons and a very, very limited type of combinations that you could have in Destiny. So me personally, I would rather there be that constant evaluation, critiquing weapons, changing the balancing, instead of having it be exactly the same, but at the cost of having pretty much no identity or no variation between players. So that's my personal feeling. Again, want to make this video kind of as a thinking out loud, how I'm interpreting how Destiny 2 will go from a balancing perspective with PvP. Curious what other people think. If you have an idea for a significant change that could make the balancing in Crucible much better for Destiny 2, please let me know in the comments. One, to hear what other people think. Conversely, if you think the balancing is fine right now and you're okay with them making changes through patches, kind of in the same line as I am, let me know in the comments too. So, want to see what other people think. Obviously, I think we'll know more in the coming weeks here. I know there's a Destiny 2 gameplay reveal on May 18th, so just around the corner. Not quite sure if they'll show Crucible in that. To me, I think that probably will be an overall PVE reveal, storyline reveal type deal. But who knows? Maybe they'll have some stuff in there about Crucible as well, and we'll learn a bit more. But let me know what you think. Leave a message down there in the comments. Likewise, if you like this video or want to stay in touch with what I'm doing on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. Most importantly, thanks for watching, and hopefully see you guys in Destiny 2 when it comes out this fall.